Hi everyone, your coach Kristi here. I get a lot of questions around inviting. With the 3 vital behaviors, inviting seems to be the scariest one. I would say, being a product of the product, working out, people have fitness goals, get off track, get back on track. It's always a work in progress. With personal development, coaches either do it or they don't. Same thing though, sometimes they do it and get off track, get back on track. Personal development is the one thing I think people try to skimp on the most, and it's also needed the most. It's one of those easy to do, easy not to do. Now, inviting is the one thing I think a lot of coaches do focus on, however, have a huge fear around. So I'm hoping that through this video, I'm going to give you some tips to help you build some confidence around inviting. And the only way to really gain a lot of confidence around inviting people, whether it's to a challenge group or to the coach opportunity, is to do it more. I was not comfortable at inviting when I started as a coach. In fact, my voice would get really high pitched. I'd get super sweaty. My heart would start pounding. I thought it was going to pound out of my chest. I felt like I was going to throw up. It pretty much was like when I start a race or get on stage for a bikini competition. It was very much like that. I remember my first Ironman, the start line, I wanted to be sick. My first bikini competition, walking out on the stage, I wanted to be sick. That's what inviting was for me as a new coach. Now, it's very natural, it's very easy, and it's not tough for me to do, but it took a lot of practice. So I'm going to share some tips with you. And for me, there are 2 main types of inviting I do. There's direct, like personal one-on-one invites, where you're sending a personal message or a personal text message or asking someone in person. So a direct invite. And then there's passive inviting. And I'm going to cover both today. I want you to know I do both. I always do both. The one thing with the coach opportunity is you're going to reach different people in different ways, and so I do both. So I'm going to go through the direct personal inviting first because this one seems to be probably the scariest for people, and there's tons of tools and resources on it out there. So direct personal inviting. When it comes to inviting people, you definitely want to form that relationship with them first. You don't just send a message, hey, you want to join my challenge group? Hey, you want to join my team? I get so frustrated when people do that. People who maybe were part of my life at one time and they never followed through with things, then all of a sudden they're inviting me to join their new business or buy something from them. And I haven't heard from them in years and they never followed through on anything they said they were going to do before anyways. Why would I buy from them? So I can understand being on the other side of that. So you definitely want to form relationships with people. Be interested more than interesting, meaning you need to be interested in other people, what they're doing, what their goals are. It's really important to form a relationship with someone because are you going to invite them to a PIO challenge group when they're trying to bulk up and gain muscle and get big? No, you're going to invite them to a Body Beast challenge group. But if you don't know their goals, if you haven't formed that relationship with them and had enough of a conversation to know what's important to them, and you invite them to something that doesn't even relate to them, of course they're going to say no or not respond to you. So forming a relationship is really crucial. And we're lucky enough that Beachbody has put tons of time and training and resources, and we've run a lot of test groups with elite and 5-star coaches and above, and create an incredible training in your Coach Online office. And I know a lot of you go through that when you're a brand new coach and then forget about it. And I see questions all the time. How do I invite? I don't know what to say. It's in your Coach Online office. So if you go into your Coach Online office and you go to News and Training, Coach Training Academy, there's a section on the 5-step invite process. Use that invite process. And what I tell my team is Amber Scott also has a great invite process. And if you go to her YouTube, she has a YouTube video on that invite process. I like to go through her YouTube and the 5-step invite process, read through, and write out your own personal invitation script. And the reason why I say that is because these invitation processes, they work. You're creating a relationship with people, you're asking questions, they work. But I bet if you read them, that's not how you talk. So that's what I would do, is I would sit down, go through the invitation process, read through it, really understand it, and get to the core of what you're asking people for. And then write it down in your own words. So you have your own document with your own words for your own invitation process. So now direct personal messaging is going to be done through a text message to someone, or private message on Facebook, or an email, or calling them, or talking with them in person. Those are all direct invitations to a challenge group, to the business. So that's the one way to invite people. Now, when it comes to inviting people, I'm a little off track here, but you definitely need to share and connect and add people to your network. That is super important, because if you are not sharing enough of what you do when you just invite them to a challenge group, they're like, what? I don't know what it is you do. I don't get what you're inviting me to. So you have to share enough about that so they are familiar with what you're inviting them to. You also want to connect with people and get to know them. And you always want to be adding to your network so that you're always connecting with new people. Because sometimes the people you connect with that are interested, and I get this all the time, I can have 30 people ask me about information for a challenge group, and maybe 2 of those people say yes and actually follow through. And as a new coach, I'd get really excited. Oh my gosh, all these people are so interested in getting information from me, and now they're not following through. What did I do wrong? And it wasn't that necessarily I did anything wrong. Of course, there's always room for improvement, but those people weren't ready. A lot of those people I've been a coach for 3.5 years, and a lot of those people have come back to me and signed up as a coach, or signed up as a challenge group member, or just messaged me and kept in contact and say how motivating and inspiring I am, and how much I've helped them in their fitness, or how much I've inspired them in their business or in their life. And that's exciting. So those connections you're making, or where people are asking for information, that's a chance for you to share with them. I love when people ask me for information. I'm not even worried whether they say yes or no. I love that they're asking me, because I could talk about Beachbody and I could talk about fitness all day long. If it didn't drive Paul crazy, I probably would. And so when people ask me, that's a chance for me to share. And I love that. I love being able to share with them, and share my experience, and share my excitement and my passion with the business. And it's okay if they say no, or it's okay if they say not right now, because I have an incredible opportunity, and I know I'll be here in a year or 2 years or 3 years, and life changes. Life changes all the time. People might be starting a new job and love their job now and not love it 6 months from now, or not love it a year from now. Or people might be in the best shape of their life right now and love what they're doing with their fitness goals, and 9 months down the road, they've put on 10 pounds and they can't figure out how to get it off, and they're struggling. But they remember you. They remembered you showing interest in them and asking questions and inviting them and sharing with them what has been working for you. And they see your posts on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, your videos on YouTube, sharing your story. So it's in the front of their mind. They're watching your reality show, so that when something does change, or they are ready, they know who to contact. So in the invite process, it's really important that you manage your mindset. I see a lot of coaches get so frustrated and create negativity in their own mind and in their own life, because other people are saying no. For me, I had to learn to take a step back and say, these people are saying no, but it's nothing on them. I say no to things every day. I walk into a store, I almost feel guilty when someone's trying to sell me something and I say no. I'm like, sorry, it's not you. I promise it's not personal, but it's not something that I need right now. You haven't found, that person might not need you right then and there. But if you've planted that seed, if you've shared with them, if you've invited with them, if you've done it out of the kindness of your heart and with good intent, and shared your story and are excited about sharing your story, they know who to come back to. So that's number one, is inviting personally, through private message or one-on-one. The next form of inviting is not one that's in our Coach Online office, but I like to call it passive inviting. And I do both. I do personal messaging and I do passive invites. Now, passive inviting requires that you connect with and add a lot more people to your network. So have goals daily. You have your business activity trackers. You should be completing those each week. Post them in your team page if you have them. Share with your success partners. The business activity tracker is key because it focuses on adding people to your network. It focuses on sharing and connecting with people. It focuses on inviting people. So for me, I have goals every week. I have a goal of how many people I'm adding to my network. I have a goal of how many people I'm inviting and how many people I'm just messaging to connect with. So I don't always just invite people. Sometimes I spend a day on Facebook just connecting with people. And how fun is that? Just socializing with people. I mean, that's what I get paid to do. So I will sit there and socialize and connect with people. I love going to parties and connecting with people. And I'm always like, oh, I'm working. Because it always comes up. What do you do? How does your business work? I don't quite understand what you do. And that question used to frustrate me when people say, what exactly do you do? Now I love that question. And it only frustrated me because I didn't know how to answer it before. And so it took me time to really gain confidence in what I was doing as a coach to be able to answer that with just excitement and passion. So passive invites, what that means is I connect with people. I add them to my network, I connect with them, I join private groups on Facebook. I'm in a couple groups now. I'm just starting training for my first ultra run, which an ultra run is anything over a marathon. It's something that I haven't done before, and so I signed up for a 50K with 7,000 feet of climbing. I'm a little scared. So I joined a couple ultra running groups, and there are a lot of them out there. So I joined 3. And I save them to my favorites. So if you go into your a Facebook group that you're in, and on the right-hand side, there's a little gear. When you click that, it'll say add to favorites. So then it shows up on the left-hand side of your Facebook page. So it's really easy to find. I do that with all of my challenge groups, all of my coach training groups, and these ultra running groups. So I will go in there and ask questions and engage with people, and people post about their training and their results, and I just connect with them. It's something we have in common. We're all trained. Some of us are newbies, some of us aren't, and we're connecting around trail running. I don't do this with the hopes of all of those people signing up to be coaches or all of those people joining my challenge group. I do it because if I can build some incredible relationships with a few people, then that's awesome. I already connect with them on something that I'm interested in, and we can probably help each other with the ultra running, and maybe Beachbody will be a fit. I think it's a great opportunity for everybody, but I have to have real conversations with people to understand how it's going to fit in their life. So with passive invites, it's building relationships and adding to your network, and then passively inviting through a post on Facebook. Now, the one thing to know with like a post on Facebook is not everyone's going to see it. In fact, probably very few people see it. So another tip is to, as a team, like each other's statuses, comment on them, and it'll pop back up in the notifications so more people see that post. It's also great, when I see other coaches on my team that are posting challenge group invites and things like that, I'll comment or like, and it pops up in my newsfeed, which actually shows more credibility for what I'm doing, because people realize it's not just me that is doing it. There are other people. I do have a team of people that are building businesses and helping people with health and fitness goals. So that's one way to passive invite. Another way to passive invite is to create an event on Facebook. So to create an event on Facebook, and you can invite all of your friends on Facebook, or you can invite those people that you've connected with recently in the last month, last couple weeks, last few months, people that you've had real conversations with. As a new coach, I didn't have a lot of Facebook friends, so I would invite every single one of my Facebook friends when I did an event invite. And I would get positive and negative feedback from that. I would have people message me and say, oh, this is so exciting. I love what you're doing. I'm not ready for it right now, but thank you for thinking of me. And I would then put it in my calendar to follow up with them in, 3 months or 4 months or whatever it may be. And I would continue a conversation with them. It wouldn't stop there. I would continue asking them how life is. I would continue forming that relationship even though they weren't joining my challenge group. The fact that they were interested was super exciting, and hopefully I can help them down the road, but I still had that chance, that opportunity to build that relationship. So don't miss out on opportunities because you're not meeting your own expectations of having them say yes. And then there would be people I had a guy respond to me and say, please stop inviting me to your events. I'm old and fat and I'm happy that way or something. And, he's pretty negative. And at first it hurt my feelings, but I thought, well, I don't want to mistakenly invite him again. So I removed him from my friends list and I said, hey, sorry, I just don't want to offend you and don't want to mistakenly invite you again because I probably will. I love what I have to offer, and I know I can help people change their lives, and you're never too old. And he actually apologized and asked me to accept his friendship and said he was sorry and it was okay if I invited him again. So have those open, honest conversations, and don't let people frustrate you if they say no. With the events, the thing to know with that, it's a passive invite. Again, not everyone on your Facebook is going to see that passive invite. So if you post in those events more often, like you once, twice, 3 times a day, Tanya Jean on our team does a great job with this. She'll post a motivational quote or what do you got to lose but fat, or things like that, just funny little pictures. So when she's posting in the event, it actually pops up in people's news feeds again. So they have a better opportunity, a better chance of them actually seeing the post. People that you've connected with on Facebook, been private messaging back and forth, that type of thing, hopefully your posts are going to show up in their newsfeed because they're interested in what you're doing because you've connected with them on a personal level. But again, passive invites doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's going to see them. I do both though, because what happens is sometimes, it could be, I'm trying to think back, probably about a year ago in September, I was having, I don't know why, but September is my birthday month and always seems to be a tough month for me. And last year I was having a really tough time getting to Success Club 10, which is a minimum goal. No matter what, I always achieve Success Club 10. And I was freaking out. I always freak out if I haven't reached my monthly goals, and like, babe, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And he's like, you'll get there. It's okay. I got to find more people to help. I'm not reaching my goals. So for those of you that freak out at the beginning of the month when you see 0 at your Success Club points, I'm there. I freak out every month. So I sat down and went through my friends list and people that I had real conversations with within the last month or 2 months, and I just started sending personal direct messages. I sent I think there was 45 in a row until I was like, okay, I've been working long enough. I had been working with my team all day and been doing coaching calls all day, and then I was probably an hour or 2 hours inviting with personal messages with people that I had connected with. And by the end of that week, I had achieved Success Club 10. Now, the thing to know with that is I invited 45 people in one day and woke up the next day and invited another 20 or 25 people. But they were people that I had conversations with, or I had commented on their pictures and had conversations back and forth with them on Facebook and shown interest in them. So another thing to know with inviting, with passive inviting, is I share a lot. If I'm talking with someone at track, I'm running at track, or at the gym. Here's a perfect example. There's a lady at the gym, and she always runs on the treadmill every day. And while I was training for my last bikini competition, I would run on the treadmill for 30 minutes in the mornings when it was dark out because I didn't want to run outside by myself. And so I would strike up conversations with her. And she was telling me about how she was addicted to Reese's peanut butter cups. And she ate 3, 5, 7 big Reese's peanut butter cups. Not the little normal size ones, but the big cups. I'm not sure. I haven't checked the calories on them. They're probably 270 calories, a Reese's peanut butter cup. And